Hello.
Are we rolling?
We are.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Another evening dog walk.
Yep. You saw me earlier today, but here's Dad, too.
Because apparently we didn't think we had a lot to talk about, but when we were walking through the dark part of our neighborhood, we came up with a bunch of stuff, so we decided to turn the camera on.
We always think that we don't have a lot to talk about, and then something happens, and then we have to talk about it.
Yep.
That's just how this virus is working, really.
Yep. So, first thing to mention, you probably mentioned it in your video today, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a second case of coronavirus at my store today. It's a team member. I don't think, just to reiterate, I don't think that they were anywhere near my department. That's what my store managers made it seem to sound like.
It probably worked with the first case, right?
I don't know about that. We didn't ask a whole lot of questions because we knew he couldn't answer a whole lot of questions because of HIPAA and all that.
Yeah.
But he did kind of all but say that it was on the other side of the store from where my department is. Yeah. Like, my department is in a corner, like a far corner of the store, and so we're pretty secluded from the rest of everybody else. Yeah. So it's, I don't know, it's only really going to be a problem if someone in my department or in the specialty like cheese and wine department gets it. That's the only way I see it, that I'd have like prolonged exposure. Oh, lots of protests with Instacart and
kind of worldwide,
Amazon
worldwide news.
Yeah.
There's a big Amazon protest, warehouse workers.
Yep.
I think Whole Foods is planning on one tomorrow, I saw in the news.
Yeah.
Instacart.
Yeah.
They did today, right?
Yeah, Instacart went today.
Yeah. And all these companies want better protection for their employees. And there's also, I've also seen a various supermarket union type of groups.
Yeah.
That represents several different companies.
Yeah.
Are trying to do some sort of a protest as well.
Yeah.
To try to get better pay.
I mean, which
better
is totally
pay and
understandable.
better protections for the employees.
Like pay for grocery stores, they vary pretty wildly. Like, I know at your store you start at like what, $8.50?
For cashiers, yeah.
For cashiers.
Something in that neighborhood.
Whereas I'm in a bit of a higher end grocery store, and our minimum is our minimum wage is considerably higher.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know how to put this, but like, I can understand the argument for needing better workers' protections, since we're on the front lines and we're exposed. But we don't have the PPEs.
Yeah, I saw a news story today on I can't remember what national news. It was NBC Nightly News or one of those. Oh,
she just ran through an ant.
Yep. One of those national news 6 p.m. whatever news broadcasts, and they did a story on how truckers are putting themselves in harm's way.
Oh my god, she's wrapped around me.
Truckers are putting themselves in harm's way to bring us the goods that we need, and that is, in a sense, is true. But let's be honest,
they don't have a whole lot of contact with anyone besides like receiving.
Trucks, if they deliver to more than one location, I know the trucks that come to our store, they're doing 2 deliveries at most, and then going back to the warehouse to get either another trailer or another load.
I know with ours, I'm not usually there for our morning deliveries because it comes pretty early. But at most they have contact with our 2 receivers usually.
Right.
They have very limited contact with the actual like store, and they're usually here before we even open. So.
Well, my point about the two trucks or two loads per truck, per trailer, means that they're coming in contact with only very few people in their day.
Yeah.
Compared to us, you better jump. Compared to us, who we are in contact with, I've mentioned it in previous videos, 5,000 to 6,000 customers per day walk through my store.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not going to have face-to-face contact with each
every
and every one of them. But the potential's there, and guarantee you some of those people are carriers.
Yeah.
Of this.
I think
we're basically playing Russian roulette with our health each and every day.
Yeah.
And we're having to, try the best we can to stay away from people as far as we can. I try to stay at least 10 feet away from everybody that comes near me. But sometimes it's unavoidable. Because not all customers are observing the 6-foot rule. They're just plowing through, trying to get the groceries they need to get, and they don't care how close they get to you.
And I know at my store that has gotten a little bit better, especially now that we have a couple of confirmed cases at our store.
Are you telling customers?
No. They're only informing team members about it. Like, I don't think it's even broken the news.
No, it would have.
Yeah.
It'd be all over the news if the...
It's very much on the down low. Yeah. But lately, they've been controlling the amount of people that are in the store at any one time, and they've become a lot more strict about how many people are in the store. So they've been counting heads and making sure that there's no more than like 50 or so people in the store at the same time, not counting team members and home shoppers, of course, but just to make sure that there's enough space for people to shop. Because like I've mentioned before, we're in a very small store, so it gets tight in there real quick. Yeah.
I haven't worked at my store in a couple days. This is my second day off, and I've got tomorrow off before I have to go back on Wednesday. So I don't really know what's going on at this point at my store. But so I don't know if
you have to run to my side.
I don't know if they've I don't know if they've instituted any of those measures at our store or not. But anyway, there's that. So that story kind of bothered me a little bit. Yeah, truckers are putting themselves in harm's way, sort of, to get the goods to the stores. And it's a feel-good story to tell, but I've yet to see, and they probably have done a story already on grocery store workers. I just haven't seen one that, we're going in each and every day. We're seeing the general public come into our store each and every day. There's no real safeguards in place to protect us. And I think the whole notion of a temperature check, I know that our governor has suggested that all businesses do temperature checks of customers coming in to protect everybody, the customers and the people. But the whole notion of temperature check...
It's just not feasible at a grocery store.
Well, it's not feasible, but it's also a bit of kind of BS, because they've proven that this virus is contagious even before you're symptomatic.
Yeah.
And a fever is a symptom. So if you're contagious before you're symptomatic, a temperature check's not going to do any good. If you're not showing a temperature, but you're still contagious, nobody knows it, not even the person carrying. So I don't think temperature checks are... It just doesn't make any sense.
Now, do they allow you to wear masks at your store?
They are allowing us to wear masks. However, we have to provide our own.
Yeah, of course.
And there are a couple associates that are. And I've talked to a couple of associates that are. He was joking with me. He's like, ever since I started wearing the mask, he says, customers avoid me like the plague.
I'd say like about 75% of my customers come in wearing masks, and not as much gloves, which is weird, but there's a lot more masks.
An increasing
people wearing.
An increasing percentage of our customers are coming in.
They only just started allowing us to wear masks. Like a couple of weeks ago, they told us outright, no, you can't wear any masks.
Yeah, they told us the same thing in the beginning too.
They figured it would freak people out because
Right.
it's not a part of our culture to wear masks.
Right.
Unless you're like sick.
Right. We got the same spiel too.
But
they didn't want us wearing masks because they were afraid it would scare off customers.
But
and it does.
Yeah.
But we're at a point now where officials can't tell all these positive cases that are coming up. They can't tell now what's community spread and what's people with connections to people traveling. So you have to assume at this point now that everyone is a carrier and everyone is positive.
I'm seeing a lot more of my coworkers wearing masks. I think today there was a point in my shift where I was the only person in my department that didn't have a mask on. And there's like 3 or 4 other people in my department at like any one time.
Yeah. There's really only 1 or 2 in my entire store wearing masks.
Oh no, there's a lot more at my store, especially the home shoppers. The home shoppers wear a lot more masks because they come in contact with our delivery drivers too,
and the customers,
which are going into So I guess they are a little bit more at risk, but I guess. I don't know. I've been kind of quarantining myself at work. It's a little fight. So a lot of our florists have quit because they're elderly and at risk. So right now, the only people running our florist department is our like head florist, and then me and whoever else can just sort of fill in. So I've had the wonderful excuse of being able to get away from the floor to work on floral stuff, which is even
kind of behind a counter.
Yeah, behind a counter in a corner of the store where if you didn't know where to look, you might miss it.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah, so I've been able to stay back there the past couple of days and just kind of like do my own thing, but still work.
I'm certainly enjoying my 3-day reprieve.
Yeah.
I wish it was longer, but I know they're going to need me back.
Yeah.
They probably need me back now, but I'm actually also missing case installations in my department too.
Oh.
They're installing last night, tonight, and tomorrow night. They're installing all new service cases and display cases in my department.
Well, we're supposed to have a remodel in June. Who knows if that's going to happen?
So they've shut down. They've shut down our department to. Our service counter is shut down while this construction is going on. So I am missing that, which I'm a little sad because I kind of would like the satisfaction of being able to tell a customer, "No, I'm sorry, I can't slice any meat for you." There's a little bit of evil in me that
it really takes joy in telling customers no.
Would take joy in saying, "I'm sorry, you're gonna have to just, suck it up.
Buy pre-sliced meat.
Buy pre-sliced meat." Yeah, sorry.
Darn.
You'll live. Trust me. There's a lot of people in this world that are much worse off than you that can't get it sliced to your exact specifications.
Yeah. Well, what else has been going on in the world?
Oh, some of the cases that's going around the country that we've heard. First in Greensboro.
Oh yeah, that's
which
a
is
fun one.
not far from here. Greensboro. 4 men were arrested and charged with violating the stay-at-home order.
Yeah.
They were at an abortion clinic in Greensboro protesting. Police showed up, and this is all from the news report. I don't know firsthand, but this is what I read. Police showed up, told them to disperse. They resisted. Well, 3 of them.
3 of them resisted.
Well,
3 of them were charged with resisting.
With resisting arrest. Yep. They were being combative, and so they decided to arrest the 4 of them. 3 of those resisted. So they were hit with that additional resisting arrest charge.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And then the mayor of Greensboro came out and said, we're serious about this stay-at-home order. If it's not an essential purpose, you need to stay at home.
Yeah.
We're serious about it, and we're not going to back off on that. So they don't want to arrest people for it.
Yeah.
They really don't, because you don't want to kind of cause all kinds of, that can just cause all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
But these four were clearly
Just
just
blatantly ignoring the order.
blatantly ignoring the order. And speaking of blatantly ignoring the order, there was another story that came out today, this one out of Florida. A rather large church with over 1,000 members in Florida has continued to hold their services in person, even though I don't know if it's the city or the county that they're in.
Florida doesn't have a statewide order.
There's no statewide order in Florida yet. Their governor has been resistant to it,
Yeah.
which I think is crazy because Florida has the highest elderly population in the country, highest percentage of people in their 70s, with the exception of the state of Maine. So you would think that a governor would want to protect his citizens, but they're also a very conservative bunch down there. So. But anyway, there was a local ordinance in effect to restrict movement, and this church has been continuing to have his in-person services, a rather large church, and not only encouraging his people to show up in person, but providing transportation for those that need it via bus, church buses. So they had a service on Sunday morning. Police showed up, told the pastor to quit it or else they'll take further steps. He went ahead and had another service Sunday night, and they arrested him. They arrested the pastor.
Yeah. There was another story sort of like
and
that
charged him for blatant
in
disregard.
Durham.
Well, let me expand on
Yeah.
that. Doing something like that is completely irresponsible on the part of that pastor, because say there's 1,000 people in that church. They're all gonna get together, do their thing, and then go back on their day, go on with their lives the rest of the week. Each one of those people in that congregation are going to contact who knows how many throughout the week.
Yeah.
People that they know that may not be part of the congregation, spread it to those people, and then you're going to have a local outbreak in that area.
I mean, and that's been shown to happen too. Like, churches have been a pretty big problem for this virus. I think the earliest was in South Korea. South Korea's outbreak is tied directly to some sort of
one church.
Yeah, a church outing where one super spreader infected the whole church, and then they spread it out.
Yeah.
All throughout.
Well, there was another one today. I can't remember where it was from, but it was a choir. They had gotten together for choir practice. This is back in early March, before the outbreak, before everything was beginning to be shut down. And I think 75% of the people in this choir, and this choir was over 100 members, came down with the virus, and like 2 or 3 of them have actually died since then. And they traced it back to these choir practices where, this virus is so easily spread that any gathering of people...
She's tying me up.
Any gathering of people whatsoever is causing a major issue.
Yeah.
Which is why we're having these orders to stay 10 people or less. But there's still too many people disobeying it.
Mm-hmm.
Coming home from the store yesterday, after I went and got the air filters when I had to go back and pick them up.
Because we forgot them.
Yeah. You saw that in the most recent video that I put up of mine. When I was coming back from picking up the filters, I went by our local McDonald's, and there was a group. It might have been less than 10, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
There was at least 8 people. It was these young
Hey, can we not walk into the road?
These young males
Nala.
that often get together down here. Hey, she probably sees an animal.
Come on, Nala. Nala. Come on. Good girl.
It was a group of young males standing in the parking lot with all their, modded cars. All their cars that have all kinds of aftermarket parts on them, where the parts are worth more than the car itself. Kind of thing.
They were hanging out.
Yeah. They were hanging out anyway in McDonald's parking lot, just standing in a circle, just hanging out. Who knows what they were spreading to each other?
Yeah.
And then they're going to bring it back home to their families, spread it among them, and then this thing continues. I saw a doctor interview with a doctor saying that if they could take a magic wand and freeze all 350 million Americans in place for 2 weeks, where they're all at least 6 feet apart from each other, this virus would be dead.
Yeah.
It would be done.
I would love to stay in the house for 2 weeks.
Completely. But the reason this continues to spread and continues to carry on is because people aren't obeying the mandates from the
people
different
who can
local governments.
obey the mandates aren't obeying the
choosing
mandates.
not to. Right.
So that us who can't obey those mandates get put at risk.
We're putting us at risk and everybody else.
Yeah.
The city of New York, I saw another story today. The city of New York is going around to all the local parks and they're removing basketball rims from all the local parks because pickup basketball games continue to happen. Even during their, this is New York, the epicenter of this whole outbreak.
And people are still ignoring stay-at-home orders.
People are still ignoring the stay-at-home orders and having pickup basketball games in the middle of this outbreak. So our
our stay-at-home order started officially today at 5 p.m.
Statewide. Yeah.
So all of state parks and local parks are closed.
All state parks, all national parks in the state they're technically closed. You can still get in them, but there's no services. All the visitor centers are closed, which means public restrooms are closed. So you
kind of like during the government shutdown last year, where they're technically open, but no one's touching them. So
But you'll find any parks in the state though that have gates at their entrances.
The gates will be
closed. So anything that doesn't have a gate, you'll still be able to get in and do whatever you want in there.
Yeah.
Don't expect any services.
Yeah.
There's no. And there are rangers still out enforcing. So.
Yeah. Telling you to go home.
Local parks, city parks, and county parks, those are on a case-by-case basis, I think.
Our town has shut down all city parks.
They've closed. They're allowing us to go. We have a river walk. There's a river that goes right through the middle of town, and there's a greenway that runs right alongside that river. That is technically still open. They haven't closed that, but they, obviously there's no services with that, and they're basically telling everybody it's still open, but you must stay at least 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
And from the various town boards that I keep an eye on online, they're all saying that those parks, particularly on the weekends, are extremely crowded because no one can go anywhere else.
Yeah.
So they're all headed to that greenway. And they're saying if you're trying to stay away from other people, don't go to the river walk.
Yeah.
Because it's too many people.
But
sidewalks like this, we haven't seen any people walking. Now, of course, it is 10 o'clock at night.
we take these walks pretty late, just because we don't want to meet other people.
We like to give Nala a long leash and let her, roam a little bit.
Yeah, I think she has like a 20-foot leash that we found at Walmart.
And we can't use that leash during the day with other people around.
Oh. She found a car.
That was like the third car we've seen tonight.
Yeah. It's like super quiet. Like 4 a.m. quiet, I think is what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, the amount, because we got two interstates. We got one, Interstate 85 is that way, Interstate 40 is that way. They come together just on the other side of town that way. And so we normally hear
a lot of road noise usually.
A lot of road noise from both interstates.
It's not usually too terrible, but like when it's gone, you notice that it's gone.
It's not, you know, right. It's just a subtle hiss that's always in the background. And we came out tonight and I said, wow, it's extremely quiet out here. And you can still hear some trucks going through, but
they're like way off in the distance.
But my
you can tell
description was 4 a.m. quiet, because if you come out at 4 a.m., this is about the amount of traffic that you're hearing.
Which, I mean, it's understandable with the state shut down. So, inexplicably, they're probably one of the very few colleges that decided to have in-person classes still. And so after their spring break,
I don't know if they're having in-person classes, but they invited everybody to come back.
I think, but
yeah, and they're certainly having office hours for students to meet with professors.
So after
they reopened their campus.
They reopened their campus after spring break, and pretty immediately there were reports of students having symptoms of COVID-19. So
yeah, and since then the governor of Virginia has kind of tightened down his restrictions in that state, and the restrictions are almost purely aimed right straight at Liberty University.
So I think they were probably because they were a private university, they were one of the last to shut down.
Yeah, if you don't know much about Liberty University, particularly if you're not from down here.
No.
Liberty University is private.
Yep.
It's Christian.
Yep.
Very conservative.
Yep.
So put all that together and you basically got a case
storm of stubbornness.
The storm of stubbornness, and a case of...
There's a car coming. You might not want to let her go out into the road.
Where they believe that there's some people that believe that this whole virus thing is completely made up by certain groups to suppress other certain groups. So, be that as may, I don't want to get too political with it. We realize that the internet is very toxic when it comes to politics. And our beliefs will not change the mind of anybody that has the opposite beliefs of us. No. So we won't get into all that. But
that's just something that was happening in this area.
We're just noting the facts that Liberty is what it is.
Yeah. Everything's always changing with this virus. And I'm sure tomorrow we'll come back saying, oh, we didn't expect to have to talk to you again today, but things change.
Yeah.
That seems to be the running theme of this series.
I think today was my first full, true stay at home since this whole thing started.
Yeah, because you've had to go into work on your days off before.
Yeah. And we didn't go to the store today?
No. Because we did our not panic shopping yesterday.
I stayed completely inside the house until we came out for this walk.
Which you can see in our last video.
Yep. Yep, so anyway.
Yeah, you've just been puttering around the house, fixing things.
Not really.
Editing.
Working on editing. Got caught up on all the editing.
Well, you did change the filters too.
Other than this one video that we're recording right now, and the one you recorded today, all the other ones that we've shot are already up on YouTube, queued up, ready to go. We're releasing 2 a day until we get caught up, because right now we're several days behind.
Yeah.
I think the one that went out today was episode 7 was the last one that went out today.
Yeah.
And that was March 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, today's the 30th.
So a full week ago.
Yeah.
So, but it's kind of interesting with these videos. How I'm doing it is I'm updating the statistics of infected cases.
Mm-hmm.
I'm deliberately not putting the amount of deaths on there because it's just
morbid.
Kind of morbid. But the infected cases we're putting on each and every video as of the day that it was recorded.
Yeah.
And we're you can see if you watch them all in a row, you can see the numbers grow and how quickly they grow,
Yeah.
particularly in the last week.
Yeah,
Like the one
it's
that
been
went up
crazy.
today, I think it was 24,000 in the United States. But as we record this, we're at 170,000.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that neighborhood, I think is what the news said tonight.
Yeah.
So, and now Fauci, the doctor that's kind of
Leading the charge.
leading the charge and instructing the White House what to do. He's predicting 100 to 200,000 deaths
Yeah.
by the time we're all said and
Scary.
done.
Is that car?
Which means we're looking at 1 to 2 million
Infections.
infections. Or
Which
more than
means-
that. Probably 4 million infections. 3 to 4 million infections.
Yeah. Which means we'll probably get it, but
So, well, we're trying not to.
we're trying not to.
I don't want to get it.
I don't either.
And who knows, we might already have gotten it.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking earlier where it seems to be with the people that have gotten infected, I guess for lack of a better term, dosage is the term I like to use. People that are there are young people that have gotten a particularly high dose of the virus that ended up in intensive care or even died from it. You know, otherwise seemingly healthy people. Whereas there was a report of a woman in Italy that was 102, 104 years old, that she actually survived it and is recovering. So my guess is she probably got a much lower dose of the virus than most. So I'm curious when the test comes out. They're working on a blood test, a finger prick blood test that people can do, that you can test for antibodies in your system, and you can find out if
She almost just tripped me.
yep, you can find out if the antibodies exist in your system, which will prove that you at least had it and recovered, or you're about to have it.
Yeah.
You're about to show symptoms.
One of the two.
So I'm interested when that test comes out. I would like to get tested.
Yeah.
To see if I've had it, because I could be completely asymptomatic and not even know it.
Yeah.
But with the amount of people that I've come in contact with, I'd like to know
You at least had it.
if the antibodies are in my system. If they are, that means I've developed somewhat of an immunity to it.
I've been listening to this really interesting podcast, Sawbones. Usually it's this it's a podcast about medical history. So a lot of what they talk about is sort of past things and things that have already happened. But they did, it's two people on this podcast. It's a doctor out of West Virginia and her husband, and they talked about coronavirus and particularly at-home coronavirus testing. It's just sort of really interesting to hear her take on it, because she herself is like a family doctor and rotates into hospitals. She was very skeptical about at-home tests, like the swab that is being used now, because the way the swab works,
It's got to go way up there.
it's got to go way up there. It has to go so far
gotta
that
go-
you don't think you should be touching any parts of where that swab is going.
You're gonna be tickling your brain with that thing.
Yeah. So at-home tests
look
are
very
very skeptical and probably won't give conclusive results
No, there'll
unless
be-
it's like,
There'll be a lot of
again,
false negatives.
the antibody test.
Yeah. False negatives.
Yeah. Because people won't feel comfortable going that far up there.
No. I wouldn't.
But yeah,
I don't want to be tested that way.
listen to
I'd rather do a
Sawbones.
finger prick. I'd rather do a finger prick any day over that giant telephone pole going
Yeah.
up your nose.
Anyway, listen to Sawbones. It's a good podcast. It's fun.
All right, this
It's
is
good.
the last light that we have.
Yep. Our
So-
light is fading.
So we'll go ahead and end it.
Yeah.
If anything comes up between now and then The next time we record, well, we'll note it and we'll record it.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
We'll catch you in the next one.